got it on 2K Sports for Wednesday night action in the NBA. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan joined by Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg.
It's been a while since the Nets have been one of the feared teams in the East. They had their best season since their days when they would make trips to the finals in the early 2000s. Really an excellent turnaround effort from the entire organization.
It'll be the Nets off the tip. Now here's Johnson. The dish to Bonner. Lopez, a screen on Paul. Jones from outside. They get it back. The feed to Bonner. Pass to Johnson. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Dishes it to Bonner. Second shot opportunity. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play. And for the Nets, who were one of the big turnaround stories from last season, they did it by beating the team, Steve, they were supposed to in the rest of the Eastern Conference. Great record against the East.
Yeah, 36-16 against their Eastern foes, so pretty solid in that regard. You know, they decided early on that the key was they had to get home court advantage in the first round. And they set their goal, and they hit it. Unfortunately, they got knocked off by Chicago in that first round.
Now here's Paul. There's the pass to Beasley. Kicks it to Bogut. He feeds it to Paul. Pass to Beasley. Lets the three fly. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Beasley's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Knicks on defense. About a minute played so far here in the first. Millsap kicks to Johnson. Feeds it to Bonner. He passes to Jones. Johnson right side. A three ball. Beasley with the rebound.
You look at the Joe Johnson trade for the Nets. They picked up his max contract from the Hawks, committing $80 million over 4 years. But, you know, last season, his lowest point output in over a decade. A down season overall, but hey, there's a lot of talent on this team. He's not expected to score as much anymore.
Now here's Johnson, following the shot by Chris Paul. Jones hits for two. It's rebounded by Paul.
Easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
It's Beasley on the wing. He dishes it to Childress. Pass to Bogut. Millsap on him. 6 to shoot. It's Beasley on the wing. Rebound, Brooklyn. Lopez has got his third rebound tonight. And for the Nets, they started the season doing some of that isolation offensively for Joe Johnson that we saw in Atlanta, Clark.
And even with the most efficient individual scorers, that's not usually the way to go offensively over the long haul. With Joe going through a bit of a lull in terms of his shooting percentages, I thought they might have been better served to anchor the offense around Brook Lopez inside.
Here is Bonner. Lopez kicks to Johnson. Back to Lopez. Outside, Jones. The dish now to Millsap. Outside, Jones. Again, the miss by Jones. Paul against Jones. Paul goes in. Bogut sets a screen for Paul. In low to Bogut. Hangs in the air. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Bogut's got his first bucket in this one.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
And here's Johnson outside. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Knicks lead by 2. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far.
You can't be the number 2 seed in the East by being mediocre on the road. I mean, the Knicks had a veteran group, and they all had the mental fortitude and experience to finish off games on the road last season.
The Knicks with the lead. Clark, as you said, the Knicks were one of the tougher teams on the road, and their road record was, you know what separated them, Steve, from the middle of the pack in the East.
Yeah, 23 road wins, second only to the Heat in the East. It was interesting, Kevin. They relied so heavily on threes that sometimes on the road they'd go cold, but they could also get hot in a hurry, and they were able to avoid a bad spell.
Gets it to go. Johnson's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Nets.
And Kevin, what I like about him is that he tends to get hot at the most opportune times. It doesn't matter if it's coming out of a halftime or out of a timeout. He just has a knack for heating up in a hurry.
And one of his other great qualities, Steve, is his quick trigger off the dribble. I mean, he can get his shot off in an instant, a nanosecond.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, Ben McLemore grew up in poverty in the tough town of Wellston, Missouri, near St. Louis. A tiny house with up to 15 people under one roof. At times, no food, no heat. A single mother working nights to provide. And before his senior year, his high school shuttered for good. Basketball was his one escape. He said, quote, "If you say you're from Wellston, they give you that look. It's just the reputation. It's a hard place to live and grow." But he says even now that he's made it out, I'm never going to forget Wellston. I was born and raised there. It's my heart and my pride. I'm going to give back. I want to build it back to how it was. Guys, what an extraordinary story.
An amazing story. And Doris, good thing it had a happy ending. Thank you.
A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Now here's Jones. Shot off the pick. Rebounded by Norman.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
Flynn kicks to Paul. All sorts of time, and the shot is good. And the Boston series did drag on him, you could tell. You wonder if they were a bit fatigued going into that Pacers series. Steve, Indiana just outplayed him, outworked him in every way in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was a factor, Kevin, and really the Knicks have only themselves to blame. They had Boston down 3-1 and a home game to close it out, but they couldn't get it done. And there's no doubt that affected them against Indiana in the next series.
Nets passing it around. Johnson kicks to Jones. They shoot again. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Well, if you don't like contact, then you won't like guarding this guy, because he will get after you physically.
Yeah, you got to strap it on tight. Get your mouthpiece in. If you got a headband and knee guards, whatever you wear to protect yourself, you need to get ready for that with him. I mean, he's going to lean on you. He's going to bump you. There's no way to get around it. It's going to be physical with him.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, you know, it's still exciting to come here to the Barclays Center, this beautiful new arena, and you really like the fact that it's built to showcase basketball. Terrific sight lines, everything the fans could ask for.
Both free throws good for Irving. You talk about the allure of the new arena. Steve, even when teams are staying in the same city so often, a push is there for a new arena.
Yeah, that's the reality of the business. It's all about entertainment. It's about being cool. It's about kind of the brand, and I think that's where Brooklyn really made that huge jump last year. It was just the uniforms and the arena and the fan base and being in Brooklyn. It all came together, and now it feels like a world-class organization.
Brooklyn with the ball after the miss from Jefferson. Backing him down is Johnson. Lock at 6. Bosh. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Guys, now with the Nets and the Knicks both playing in New York, it's just added to the rivalry that was already pretty strong to start with. But it's interesting. If you're from Brooklyn and you grew up rooting for the Knicks, who do you cheer for now? It's probably divided some households. A lot of rivalries in families alone. It should be interesting as this team takes further root in Brooklyn.
And back to this Knicks-Nets rivalry. The Knicks, Clark, are considered the more established dominant team, but over the last decade, the Nets actually had the better winning percentage, and that might come as a surprise to some. have beaten the Knicks when you look at games head-to-head. And Clark have had more playoff success.
Yeah, when you crunch the numbers, clearly the Nets are considered the upstarts, but the fact remains over the last decade, as you said, Kevin, they've been the better team. And I think whoever you root for, with both of them playing at a high level, it's a great time to be a hoop fan in New York.
Well said, it is. Now here is Jack. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Back to Paul. Outside Jack. He kicks it to Paul. Hogan. Bosch grabs the miss. Here's Bonner. What a play. Simply brings it in at the buzzer.
Big bonus for them to end the quarter as he beats the buzzer.
Talk about maximizing every last possession you've got. Right there, it was done.
And the first half ends in a close one. It's the Nets up by 1. And it's time now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll be back shortly to get the second half underway.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Tipping off your halftime show, I'm Damon Bruce, and a close one is underway in Brooklyn. The Nets are making every effort to win it, and defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. Looking at New York, they're definitely making plays as well. Their great passing has been fun to watch, keeping the ball moving and picking apart that D. Some great work out there by Michael Beasley. No big numbers by his name in the box score, but he's doing the little things out there to try and get his team the win. Now let's get back over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of our crew as the second half gets underway.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back to New York City, the bright beacon of the Statue of Liberty, lighting up the harbor.
Well, for so long, the Knicks have been the punchline of the Eastern Conference the last decade. Poorly managed contracts and questionable trades really kept them from rising to the top in the East. But once again now, they look like a powerhouse.
New York trailing. And Clark, you were right. The Knicks were a powerhouse last season. Steve, 37 wins against the rest of the conference, and they just would dominate other teams at times.
Well, they're a team that doesn't really want to run a lot or force tempo. They just kind of want to get you in the half court. They don't turn the ball over, and they bury you from long range. So they found their identity last year and really dominated in that Eastern Conference.
Here is Bonner. He has 5, and it's Johnson penetrating. Excellent D there from Beasley. Now Childress. Pass to Paul. And there's the feed to Childress. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, for a long time, the Knicks were viewed as a young team on the rise, but when they added Rasheed Wallace last year, the average age went to 32, which was the oldest team in the league last season. And you saw it in their play. They were a group of veterans out there.
First one falls for him. And for the Knicks, the veteran leadership helped them at times as they had to go through some very tough stretches, Steve, due to injury.
Yeah, they did go through some stretches, but they really did well to secure the division title and get that high seed going into the playoffs. They had a pretty decent run all in all, but this is a team that has higher aspirations than just getting to the conference semis.
A big change for the Nets, who stormed up the leaderboard in the East and even had a chance of taking a very tough Atlantic division last season. They actually were in the picture for the title until the end.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, as you know, Jason Kidd has always been perceptive. And when he retired from playing, he said his thought process went like this. All right, let's take a look at your resume, Jason. You have no financial background. You have basketball. That's what you have for your whole life. So next was going to be basketball. And once he and his agent started to explore the opportunities, the coaching position with the Nets emerged, and Kidd said things moved to, quote, warp speed after that. Kevin, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, good situation for him. Thanks, Doris. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. And the Nets' first goal going forward this year is to make that jump into the best team in New York and the rest of the division. Steve, a lot of strong teams in the Atlantic, but they do well against them.
Yeah, last year they had the best interdivision record than anybody in the Atlantic. So, if you can take care of business within your division, it always puts you in a good position down the stretch.
Now Millsap, following Chris Paul's three-point attempt. Millsap dishes to Johnson. On the wing, Jones. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. Jones has got 6 points.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Paul outside. Dishes it to Childress. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. He'll take his third and fourth free throw shots of the game right here. And that one falls for Childress. The Knicks making a switch here. And Childress drops 2. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Defended by Jack. Passes it to Bonner. Back to Johnson. Nets passing it around. That's good. Jones has got 9 points now in the quarter.
Boy, he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the defense.
Jack passes to Paul. Bogut back up on top. Jack defended by Jones. There's the 3. And it's Paul missing.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
That's good.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
And the dunk by Fareed.
Maybe that'll ignite them. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geeked.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
From deep, Johnson got it off in time, but it's no good. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Nets lead by 6. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Nets.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And that's helped with their passing game, too, because they're getting a lot of assists by sharing the ball and moving it.
Nets leading by 6. Here is Bonner. Jones drives in. Here's Millsap, and that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Millsap's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Nets. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Childress, and right through it goes. The Nets shooting around 40% from the floor here.
I got him.
Bonner dishes to Johnson. Kicks to Bonner. He feeds it to Hamilton. Shot clock at 6. Nice touch on the shot from close range. And the Nets lead by 8.
After what was just a horrendous shooting performance in the first half, they finally started to find their stroke.
It's amazing to think they actually have the lead here, Clark, given how poorly they played in the first half. They really didn't shoot well, but You know what? They're starting to stick it out. They're finding their way in this game.
Timeout called, the Nets. They're in front by 6. 1:58 left to play in the final quarter. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what the Nets coach was going over with his team. He laid one thing out there for them, saying, now is the time to eliminate any chance of a mistake. We've got a good lead. Don't take any unnecessary risks or commit a silly foul. Smart basketball from here on out.
All right, Doris. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Now the pass to Bonner. Right side, Jones. Into Johnson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
2 shots. He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're behind by 8. 1:44 left in the fourth quarter. Feeds it to Bogut. And low to Fareed. And the layup falls.
It takes a lot of skill and agility to lay it in with the defense right on you. That's a terrific finish.
Nets leading by 6. And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way.
Boy, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Childress, the pass to Paul. Beasley outside. Back to Paul. Paul gets a screen from Beasley. Paul dishes to Beasley from outside the arc. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Johnson off the pick from Lopez. He dishes it to Jones. Shoots the 3. That one goes. Come. And the Nets lead by 6.
He wasn't able to get his name in the score sheet in the first half. But he looks like he's starting to find his comfort zone here.
Bogut backing him down. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
And the first of 2, no good. Heartbreaker. Cavs get the second one, and that brings them within 5.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Lopez backs in. There's the dish to Bonner. Nets passing it around. Jones with it. Guarded now by Michael Beasley. Johnson, good.
Every point they get now puts them one step closer to the W.
If they're not there already, Steve, just a tremendous all-around game of basketball they play.
Now here's Beasley. Pass to Paul. Fires from 14. And again, it's the Knicks missing.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
Clark, and they can just let the clock run out here.
No argument with that W.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Johnson gets the bucket.
And they're not finished yet. They're going to make sure about this win.
Yeah, that's how you close out a game, Steve.
Paul goes in, lets it go with a 3. And it's Beasley. That time, and the assist by Paul.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
And that's an intentional foul.
At the line for 2.
Gets the first, that makes it a 7-point lead. And a new group in for the Knicks. So he gets them both, and it's an 8-point game. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're losing by 8. 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what's your take?
Well, never say never, I guess. They just have no quit in them.
Yeah, I think you have to respect that attitude and approach. I know most teams would have called it a game already.
We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. And so it's Brooklyn with the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
That about does it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, Doris Burke, and the rest of our great crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for watching. Now, here's our Jordan Player of the Game.